First up, you need to work with and the noble Kanohirao isn't on Thingiverse. It's possible to export the biopackstar.io model into Blender, and then prat about smoothing it, exporting it, and all that jazz, but I'm not very clever. Instead, I messaged a Shapeways seller who had one in their store and acquired the model to print myself. Score 1 for laziness. The next step was to pull it into Prusa Slicer, which doesn't work directly with my printer, but which has better auto-raft and auto-strut. I exported the rafted, strutted mask as a .stl file. The next step was to pull it into Chitubox, the slicing software my printer uses, and arrange my build plate. As you can see, there's more than just this project on there, and this exact clip is in fact being used in 2 different videos. Efficiency. After Chitubox had sliced my build plate, I ran it through Photon Validator to clear up anything that would bugger up my print. Or so I'd assumed, anyway. With all that taken care of, it was print time. We now return you to your regularly scheduled Lucas, who is a dumb idiot and filmed most of this in portrait.
Ugh, junk up to shaky cam. This is my second take of this and I still left the tripod inside. And honestly, I've been out enough time to this point that I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up. So, 3D printer, LU Mars original model with the Wham Bam system installed. Find the USB port. Put the USB in the right way up. Only 2 tries. Rarity. Glad I caught that on camera. Now let's see. Go ahead and select your file. I've already reset the Z-stop, I hope. So this should print without issue. But we'll see. I'm prepared for things to go horribly wrong. Because hey, that's life. Let's learn. Quick preview what else going on. Earlier attempt at Kotu's mask is there. Printed just fine. Not happy with the shade of blue. Same goes for the Canon Helrix mask. Fill the parts there for my take on Leader 1. A repaint of Titan's Return Voyager Megatron. I'll cover that Sunday. And then here we have the failed prints. They still fit the standard head, which I have here for reference. So, it fits a little tight. Help if I got the angle right. How shit. Well, that is how not to do this. However, you know, I can probably glue that, learn from mistakes, etc., etc. This right now is printing the base layer, so I'm not going to try and attach these because I learned my lesson. Here we have another wonky row. This one looks like a sliced tomato. And my absolute favourite, Helrix, but she's been bonked on the head. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't set your build plate properly before doing something like this. So, speaking of, new Z-stop seems to be going just fine. And yeah, I'll check back in probably tomorrow. I may as well leave this. May as well just let this run another night. I've got nothing else really to do out here right now. So, next part, hopefully I'll remember the thing I've forgotten the name of. Hopefully I remember its name even. Tripod, that's it. Hopefully I remember the tripod next time. But knowing my luck, we shall see. And as you can see, the print has failed. Okay, hold on. Let me just... As for what caused the failure, I'm not sure, but this should give us a... Yep, I can feel resistance on the bottom of the tank. Plus that, it's adhered very well to the bottom of the tank, so you know, credit where it's due and all that. Yeah, this splat shape here would have been, I believe, a Garth earring in another life. Still, failed prints don't actually waste a whole lot of resin, so yeah, I'll I guess adjust the settings and try again.
Several months later.
Okay, as you can probably tell by the lighting, it is a different time of year to when I last filmed for this whole thing, but well, print here currently sending what will hopefully be the final part of this part of the saga, and I'll actually have the mask printed by the end of this one. We'll see, I guess. Yeah, peace out. Okay, we now have a Kanohi row and a pair of Garfield ear gauges that are out of focus. Please, please load up for something unrelated, as you may have safely assumed by the fact that they are Garfield ear gauges and not a lovely mask. So, next step is to pop it off the build plate, run it through the Sonic Cleaner here, that still has some stuff on top of it, and then curing it in this thing that has a recent print by a friend of the channel and my dad sitting on top of it, and I'll get back to you when that part is done, I guess. Okay, mask is now cleaned and separated from the sprue. Next up, it is going in the Alligator Mercury here, hashtag not sponsored, for like a minute or so. It's only small and thin, to fully cure the resin so I can move on to the next stage of this whole project. First, as a little bonus, here's the noise that the Ultimate Cleaner makes when you turn it off. It sounds so sad. So right now the mask is being cured in the Alligator Mercury here. Basically it zaps it with UV light, there's a turntable and some mirrors and shit, so we get the occasional wide halo. You can see the Garth gauges reflected in it right about there and there. And this is also my hand. Hey, how's it going? So, as you can see, everything is now cured. Next step is to paint it, which I'm going to do another time. So, take it away, future me. So, at long fucking last, Ultimate Primer. Hang on, bottles right here somewhere. Don't know if this is even audible. So we have Ultimate Primer, we have a Sparmax Flyer, and we have a printed mask. Compressor is Sparmax, paint booth, I don't fucking know. Anyway, sorry, this is just a lot of trouble now getting the bloody thing working. My technique is probably terrible here, but you know, it's good enough for what I'm doing, basically. So, as the outside sprayed, I'm going to hit the inside as well. Just turn that down ever so slightly. And there's one mask primed. Still have some time to dry and I can hand paint it in the next segment. So, paint used for this one will be Old Darth Guard Blue, on the grounds that it's fairly close to official Lego blue. For example, here's a Helrix mask that was painted first a different blue and then with this. So basically has a slightly different blue undertones that aren't ideal. We'll got the wasp back. But, Jesus Christ. Fuck. Ugh. Ugh. Right. Stay there. Okay, fine. Cannot coax the wasp to leave, so we can have to live with it being in here, I guess. So if you hear any loud buzzing noises during this video, or if I suddenly freak out, that's because wasp. So... That's why our brush setup. Let's talk a little more about something, I guess. I don't know. Slightly manky paint water. Used paint water here. This brush has been more recently used for top coating than anything else, so it's still a bit grody from that. Still. Should suffice for this. So, quickly give the paint a shake. Still in frame, good. And one thing I do quite like about Games Workshop is that for a couple of coats, they tend not to leave brush marks, even if you are brushing it on as I am. Yeah, I need a different brush for this. This one is... I can chill out in there for a few minutes while it gets a little less paint stuck. Whatever. Hang on a second. Let's just put it on there. This'll do. So, Games Workshop then, they do decent paints, in my experience. I mean, at any rate, they had the one that, after prattling about with hex values for a while, I figured was closest to what I want. This is my first time actually fully hand painting the top coat for a mask. In the past I've normally sprayed it, but like, thinning this is like a whole thing, you know. And, well, I just want to be done with this project at this point. Not an exact match to official logo blue, but it's close enough for my liking. And if you do happen to know of an even better match for official logo blue, then by all means drop it in the comments. I can't really modify this one to get what I need, because the blue, it needs more blue pigment, basically, than this paint that I have available to me currently has. Let's be consistent with the stroke direction, I guess, is to try and minimise paint-related issues that may cause. Yeah, not a whole lot to really talk about during the painting segment of the mask prep video, so yeah, probably run through what else I got planned for the channel going forward. Still got all the alt builds for 3.11.11 set care of. Am I still in shot here? Yeah, barely. Let's just bring this around a little, compensate. Yeah, so I still got the rest of a bunch of 3.11.11 builds that I'm planning on going through. The rest of Matoran Mondays, depending on when this is finished, that series may already be over. I'm genuinely not sure at this point. Probably not actually. I still got a fair few more to go. Like, and this is the last couple steps for this. Show this done by the end of the week. Yeah, so once Matoran Mondays is over, I probably won't be running anything weekly like that for a little while. You know, just because like that is quite a bit of effort. Required a lot of filming stuff in advance, and I don't necessarily want to jump back in anything that big right away, you know? Instead, I'm probably going to just do like... I'm going to try and keep a weekly upload to some description. Just because consistency is key, feed the algorithm, etc. But, yeah. I can't guarantee it'll be Bionicle or even Lego at all. And depending on what order things go up in, there's the Garfield ear gauge you may have seen at various points throughout this. They have a video. It's separate to this one, even though similar process. It's with a few extra steps just for getting the models in the first place rather than acquiring them from someone on Shapeways. There'll be a link to that store in the description, obviously. It's because, you know, Valky's a good guy. Valky is a good egg. So as you can see, I'm hitting the inside now.
As it happens, we cannot, in fact, see this. You fool. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, it does take a couple of coats of this stuff just to get things right. Just get the edges. Yeah, the inside is by far the hardest part to paint, just as it's tricky to get angles on a lot of it. Not looking forward to doing a second coat in here, to be honest, but, yeah, it's necessary. It's looking a lot more like official Lego blue on, with this blue with the background. Still isn't very even, but it's nothing that another coat or two won't fix. Yeah, second coat's going down nicely and making this look a hell of a lot better. So, this side mostly on the second coat, this side mostly on the first. It just looks a hell of a lot smoother. Unthinned Games Workshop shade, you really need like a couple of coats at most. If you're working with actual miniatures, then, you know, please thin your paints, etc, etc. But you know, for something larger scale like this, you can get by unthinned. Okay, so plan for the rest of this then is to wait for the outside to fully dry. It shouldn't take too long, really. I'll finish getting the outside painted first. Wait for the wasp is back, wait for the outside to fully dry. Am I still in shot here, vaguely? Yeah, wait for the outside to fully dry, and then adjust the clip that I've got here, just so I can paint the rest of the inside a little easier. But for the time being, I can get what I can of the inside. It's really just the area immediately below it I'm most concerned about there. Still, this is looking good. You know, I mean, let's just get some focus. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. And you can still tell it's printed just based on some of the angles in it. And just the poly count on the model that I used, but you know, for 3D printing, you're not really going to get a more accurate row than this. Let's just quickly get some more of that, just for the sake of it. Yeah, so, next step, let this dry for a little while. Clean the brushes off, and yeah, come back to it in a few hours. And then there is some more homestuck or something. Anyway, come back in a few hours. Just the crocodile clip on the inside will just take to handle, and then paint the inside. Which, just because you know there's not really all to talk about during all this, will probably be time lapsed. So see you in a few. Okay, so yeah, I am aware now that the last part was not exactly as in shot as it perhaps could have been. So let's try this again then, shall we? Second part of painting. This time, I'm sitting in an excuse me. I am now sitting in a much more awkward angle, but I should be able to get it on camera this time. If I can just get my brush in here with my other hand. Of course, my right hand is currently out of shot. This is my actual face here. Anyway, let me just go over here. I reckon I can see it doesn't need a second coat at this point. Okay, yeah, enough of that bit. As you can see, this is just in need of a second coat, few touch-ups, etc. So, I'm just gonna peer over my camera here and get to brushing. Oop. Sir, please focus. Thank you. So yeah, figured I'd spend my weekend in the garage in the rain, painting things, and can I set a manual focus? Yeah, there we go. My focus is now locked. Let's see if I can speed this next part up after this segment, so, you know, we'll see. Here we go. Okay, so second coat is on. I forgot to actually adjust the clip that I've been using, so I just tried to paint as best I could on the inside. I can get neatened up on the third coat. I wish it would stop doing that. Yeah, so second coat looking good. I'll get back to this. Locking the focus again. I'll get back to this once the second coat's dry. It's hopefully finishing touches at that point. We'll see. Yeah, I will get back to this in a little bit. So here we have a second or third coat applied, and this is about where I want it, in all honesty. So, all that remains now is the top coat. I've already got some in the little milk lid here. Just because I left my tripod inside and I want to get this taken care of, I will be doing it off camera, but basically just, it's simple enough. Go on, top coat, go on, brush, go on, mask. Anyway, so then, here we have the finished mask. You know, not 100% perfect. Probably would have been better to airbrush it, but I will see what kind of finish I get just from hand painting the final step. You can see the inside there. It's kind of important that you have the raw plastic right there, or all the raw resin right there, where it plugs into the back, plugged into the face, just because, well, that way you know the tolerances are right and it's not going to just shatter when you try and plug it in. So, next step is to get her masked up. And for that I will see you in just a moment. And Kotu, mask. And because I've got the shot in the last shot, here's a side-by-side with an actual Kanohiro. You can see that, shape-wise, not quite perfect. But any imperfections due to base coating, paint and the like, you're not going to get a one-to-one match for this without casting in the exact resin colour. And that is not easy to come by. So, let us finally get this on. Plug it in. And finally, just for the sake of getting a comparison in, rip one of her legs off. So, as you can see, not an exact match to Lego Blue. I will say it looks better off camera. Hold on a second, let me get some more lighting in here. Yeah, it's slightly purple or blue, but it does look a little better off camera. So, this has been a Matoran Mondays special edition. Oh yeah, size comparison, just for the sake of still doing those. Here she is with a small Ziploc bag full of parts for something else that I'm working on. Thanks for watching. This has been a slightly longer than usual edition of Matoran Mondays, and I will see you next time.